listening to the Ecosystem Approach show. I'm Jason.
And I'm Patricia. Tune in every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time and 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Transformation Talk Radio.
We discovered that human potential is severely limited when you program humans like a machine, which is standard practice today for self-improvement.
The Ecosystem Approach teaches you how to uncover your infinite potential by using natural methods that are truly revolutionary. Join us now for the Ecosystem Approach show. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day, and it's time for us to talk about true love. Not in a poetic way or a philosophical way, but in a practical, down-to-earth way. We'll discuss all types of love, when it's not real or a really bad imitation. We'll talk about what bad love is and how it manifests, and most importantly, how to really know love and all the ways that it manifests, meaning true love.
Yes.
This is a very important show for this Valentine season. We are married intuitives with over 20 years experience who created the Ecosystem Approach for you. This is much different because we see human beings as ecosystems that need to be restored instead of programmed. We show you how to take an energy approach for internal discovery that is rational, practical, and useful for everyday life. Jason, let's start with the question about the biggest misconception about love and, well, true love.
That actions determine love.
Okay.
No. And, I think you might have missed it, but so when we take care of mom, the Hallmark Channel runs continuously. So the last, since this is Valentine's Day, or tomorrow is Valentine's Day, they were doing a show with Meghan Markle.
Oh, yeah.
And that the premise of that show was she was trying to figure out the right guy for her.
Okay.
And of course, her sister was chiming in, her mother was chiming in, and it was based on, well, he should have these traits, or they should have these traits,
or these qualities.
These qualities.
Yeah, if they have this
right,
not quality, then get rid of them, that kind of thing.
So she had, I think it was two or three. I was thinking it was two guys.
Okay.
And the one guy, she discarded him right from the beginning.
Okay.
And but he was the one that she eventually ended up with. It goes back to.
Oh, so you just tell the plot. The ending of the
story. I'll get to that in just a minute. Okay. But you can't tell true love by actions. It's based the whole show. I guess my point about the Hallmark was the writers of the script was based on a false premise.
Oh.
And they were trying to show that there was a expert that that the sister was listening to.
I see.
And was saying, oh, the expert says this, and the expert says this, and this is what you should look for, and blah blah blah.
Okay.
And it's not a supermarket of love. Love is not like a supermarket where you go in and
get to choose this and that and this detail and that. Okay.
And we know from doing this for so long that there's been so many people who have come to us that have a shopping list, or they do tests.
Yes. By all means.
We went on the first date, and did he open the door for me? Did he, did he do these, these
right.
things, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
You can fake those things. And, I know this is an extreme example, but there are a lot of people in the world today, because we've been teaching people to become machines, that have traits like a psychopath. That sounds really extreme, but a psychopath, or that can act out a certain way,
right,
that looks very, very attractive.
Ah.
And really, the best machines are those that can play a role with integrity.
Oof. Okay.
But when at the end of the day, when there's no one looking, and it's just the two of you,
right?
What's real love? What's true love? And it's this idea that the actions don't determine love.
Okay.
what really determines love is an energy.
You want to say that just one more time?
Well,
Love is an energy.
that's too philosophical. Let's talk
Yeah.
about it a different
Okay.
way.
All right.
At the end of the day,
Okay.
it's just you and I,
It is.
and there's a connection and there's a feeling.
Yes.
And the dogs feel it because they want to be with us.
Yes.
You
Yes,
know,
it's true.
it's love. And
Well, then there's the other part of that. So do a lot of other people. That's one of the things that I've noticed. People would give their, as my mother would have said, their eye teeth to spend time with us.
yes. Well, but the point is, your mother, going back to your mother, she's not here, so I can
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
about her.
Sure. Wait, go ahead.
Is she never knew love.
No, she did not.
Well, so let me ask you, I mean, do you ever think you would have found love in this lifetime if you went back before we met?
No, no, no. No, and I didn't find love. The only true love that I knew before you was my daughter.
Yeah.
And it was authentic. And yes, there was parts of her, and we're going to get into, a few other things, especially in the next segment, but that's genuine, authentic love, your children. But how many people, so many people I know, they destroy that love in so many different
With programming.
ways. With programming.
You have to do this.
Yes.
Don't do as I do as I do as I say. Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
exactly.
So self-knowledge and seeing how you lie to yourself is
one of the biggest.
It's the foundation for the energy of true love.
Yes.
So when you don't have self-love,
Mhm.
which is self-knowledge, which is programming,
Yes.
it's self-love too, but it's self-knowledge.
Mhm.
People, when you try and program yourself,
Right.
it's a form of lying to yourself. So you go in front of the mirror and say, I'm a strong and confident person, over and over and over again.
Okay.
That's affirmations. We don't do a lot of affirmations here, and that's why, is because it's a form of programming.
Correct.
That doesn't make you a strong and confident person.
No.
And so when you go out in the world, your energy of being a strong and confident person, you might be able to start acting that way.
Yeah.
But it may not be true.
Well, and what people really don't understand in all of what you're talking about is what is true authenticity.
Well, and the reason is because we've been programmed to be machines.
That's right.
Act this way,
yes.
think this way,
yes.
feel
yes.
this way.
Yes.
And
exactly.
instead of just saying, okay, how do I feel?
Mm-hmm.
Most people can't answer that question.
Right.
How do you feel?
Yeah.
We've had so many, we've done this for so many years, and we'll start a session with someone and say, oh, so how you doing today? I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah. That's one of the biggest ones we hear from people. You tell me, what do you see? Well, and I have to say, I want to just, I want to say things that aren't very nice, because the expectation that I'm supposed to know, granted, I can see things that I'm supposed to know what somebody authentically wants.
Well, it's based on coming from a culture of programming.
That's right.
That says, think this way, act this way.
Yes.
So after a certain period of time, we don't know how we feel.
Yes.
When someone says, how you doing today? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the other thing, and we've seen some really bad examples of love.
Yes, we have.
Or
what has been said to be love.
Possessiveness is a big one. We're going to talk some more about that in the next segment.
Mm-hmm.
There's this term called coercive control, where there's been so many parents, and we've seen it because we see the children come to us. Okay.
Yes.
And they're trying to reconcile a model of possessiveness that was named as love.
Yes.
And they don't know how to get out of it. I mean, how to, they marry someone who's possessive. Their parents are possessive.
Correct.
They know intellectually that it probably shouldn't be that way.
Right.
But they don't know any other way
to be. Because they have been programmed to believe that's the only way to be.
Sexual abuse, controlling parents, modeling in a family, one person dominating another.
Very
we
common,
grow up,
by the way,
thinking that's normal. That's love.
Yeah.
For the most part, and this sounds very negative. Most people think about Valentine's show as a very happy one, but most people don't even know what love is.
No,
And
that's
they
right.
go to Hallmark Channel and say, okay,
Oh, it's supposed to be that
that's how
way.
it's supposed to
The
look.
fairy tale is
Right.
supposed to be that way.
So they
Yeah.
can act that way for a little bit, and then all of a sudden it starts to break down
Yeah.
and it doesn't
Yeah.
show up very well. So
Yes, that's a tough one. That really is.
just one quick example.
Okay.
Um, my first wife,
Uh-huh.
which I always say is not you.
Thank you.
She died of cancer, but she grew up in being dominated.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I was too programmed,
I would say naive and programmed.
And I wanted to have a partnership.
Mm-hmm.
And she wanted to be told what to do so she could say, I don't want to do that, and express her anger. Her anger was pretty strong.
Okay.
So she was never happy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to find ways to create consensus.
Correct.
And it's kind of stupid, really, now that I think about it. Looking backward, if I'd have just said, you have to do this, and this, we both would have been better off. But it just wasn't my nature. It's not my nature to do that.
No, your nature is to actually tell the truth.
Tell the truth and build consensus. Find a way to have everybody relatively happy.
Well, yes, but
when
also,
it can happen, and sometimes when it can't, then this is
Exactly. So, not to stop this conversation, but Jason, what are the key points of this segment?
We're going to keep going in the next segment, but
okay.
Actions do not determine true love. It's the quality of energy that determines true or authentic love.
Mm-hmm.
Self-knowledge and seeing how you lie to yourself is the foundation to see the energy of true love.
Yes.
And possessiveness is the ultimate bad love condition, where those who are possessed are kept from their personal evolution. The ecosystem approach teaches you to overcome bad love programming of your childhood so you can position yourself for real love.
In the next segment, we're going to talk about the biggest block to seeing the energy of love and what you can do about it. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to talk about the biggest block to seeing energy of love and what you can do about it. Jason, what is the biggest block to seeing the energy of love? Wait a minute. Let me say this a little different. What keeps me from seeing real love and choosing good partners?
Neediness. And we've seen it so much of it for so many years.
Mm-hmm.
And female neediness, we think of neediness in terms of females, but really male neediness is far more prevalent, except men package it differently.
Yes.
It comes in a much different package. Male neediness comes in a much different package, but it makes people choose bad relationships and stay in dysfunctional ones.
Right.
It's mutual neediness is often mistaken for love.
Very interesting.
I mean, we see this. You remember that client, and we like to tell stories, but we try not to avoid stories that are current because of current clients, just for the own privacy, even though you can't identify them from the stories. But we had a client a long time ago, and she talked about how her husband would stand up at the holidays and give these.
Yeah. I remember that.
But her things, she didn't feel loved. She didn't feel connected. She didn't feel connected to him. She wanted to have love in her life.
Yeah.
And this man was dead. And she stayed together because of neediness.
Right.
But when she finally decided to leave him, of course, he blamed us. He felt that we were influencing her, but he blamed us because he was programmed.
Yeah.
He was programmed to act. In his mind, he was a good husband because he was doing all the right things.
In other words, he had a great job. He was bringing in lots of money.
Yes.
He was being the best provider he knew how.
And we make these great speeches on the holidays.
Exactly.
And, so that's love, right? That's a good family, right?
Yeah.
Well, a machine, when you're programmed like a machine doesn't know whether you have love or not.
That's true. It doesn't care either.
It doesn't care. When two machines try and come together, true love is not possible. Now, this sounds like an extreme example, but
Well,
we've
it's
all
true.
been programmed.
Yes.
When we first met, we had a lot of programming to overcome.
Boy, we did. And by the way, I just want to say it's one of the reasons that we realized that removing negative energy was one of the best things we could do, because the things that came up that were underneath this programming, it was awesome.
Well, I don't even remember, but there was a time that we finally figured out that and in the beginning, we had a lot of fights, and we finally figured out that we weren't fighting with each other.
We were fighting our past.
Yes.
Yes.
And it wasn't fighting. It was, we were acting out our life story.
Yes, we were.
And projecting it. I'm using psychobabble.
Okay. But projecting it, throwing it at each other.
Yes. And saying, you're doing this to me. And
right.
she was saying, I'm doing this to, and none of it was true, really. It was just more, yes. It was how we felt. So when we figured that out, and then we started working on our own programming,
right,
which is part of our emotional story that we
Correct.
had growing up. And things it's really started to change.
Well, and what changed, okay, and this is the point of, we're talking about the energy of love. What changed was that the negative energies that were poking and pushing and prodding us to go at each other, what we realized is when we took that and dropped it in the processor, as we talked about, or in the garbage can, what we realized is who we were started to come forward, and we realized that who we were, first off, wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
And then, but also how it was, the important part was that because there wasn't this negative energy, we could actually communicate with each other in a way that we'd never communicated with anyone else.
Yes.
Before.
There's
awesome.
There's a clarifying that happens when you remove negative.
Yes.
Now, people ask us, they see the connection that we have.
Yes.
We've had so many comments about being on radio, but also being on video. They can see the connection that we have, and they ask us the secret to what we do it. But here's the secret: if you try and make it like us, it won't work.
Well said. I like that.
What the way we did it is not because we have this method that if you duplicate,
it's not a formula.
Yes.
Yes.
That if you duplicate, you can have
the same. Yeah.
It's not true.
No.
It's because we identified our unique personal stories, me for mine and her for hers, and started clearing away the negative energy.
Correct.
That's when all of a sudden the fighting that we did in the beginning, it wasn't about us.
No. And we realized it. And one of the best things,
because of the clearing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And one of the best things of all was that when we started removing that negative energy, I remember, we still do it because it still happens, but we start laughing at the ridiculousness of the programming and how destructive it is to our lives all the way around.
Another way of saying that, the ridiculousness of the fights.
Yes.
Look what you did to the tube of toothpaste. How dare you? You left the cap on the counter. I mean, how dare you? And one of the things that when you start removing that negative energy between two people,
yes,
the stupid stuff goes away, and you build what I would call goodwill.
Yes, or a rapport.
Goodwill.
Yeah.
So when someone makes a mistake, instead of jumping on that mistake and saying, "Oh my gosh, see, now I got you."
Yeah, exactly. Well, first that becomes ridiculous, because there's a part of you that knows when you're not stuck in the programming, that pointing or telling someone how awful they are, as opposed to, hey, you know what? Let's clear that negative energy and move on. It works. You and I both know.
Oh my gosh. And so at the end of the day, when the dogs want to be with us, and by the way, if you want to be with us, sorry, you can't. It's just for us.
Oh, I see. Okay, good.
It's sometimes we do work, we do intuitive work, and we'll be very close. The dogs always want to
right in the middle of us.
Yeah, they always want to be there.
Exactly.
And as soon, in fact, if they're on the other side of the house and we start doing that clearing, they can sense it, and they come come forward. So let's talk about neediness some more, because
Okay.
that's,
Okay. Okay.
and neediness comes from a lack of security,
Mm-hmm.
feeling insecure because of the way you grew up.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And, we talk about your family all the time. It's fun. But
They're entertaining as all get out. I'll say that.
there's a neediness.
Yes.
The neediness in my family wasn't as clear. My mother was very needy. I'm seeing that now as she, as we're taking care of her, even in dementia. But and in a way, she modeled that for me.
Mm-hmm. Yes, she did.
Male neediness looks a lot different. But there's many different forms, like loneliness
Mm-hmm.
is a form of neediness, fear
Yes.
of being alone, lack of confidence to
Correct.
go out and connect with people in a way that's meaningful for you.
Correct. Well, and I'm going to jump in and say, most people don't really know what they want.
Yeah.
And when there's neediness in the way, it creates this confusion, is the way I'm going to say it. It creates, and that confusion, it can just grab a hold and not let go.
Neediness is a negative energy. So when
Yes,
you mix that in to not knowing who you are
correct,
and what you want,
Mhm.
then it gets really strange.
Yes.
I remember again, my first wife, she was needy for social connection, but she had she didn't have any social skills or confidence to go out into the world and make friends
herself.
herself.
She wanted you to do it.
She wanted me to lead and do
Yeah.
it. And of course, this was when I was in the Army, and oh my gosh, there wasn't time for that.
Yeah.
I could be social for a while, but at the end of the day, I didn't being social was not what I wanted to do.
Well, no, you wanted to sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
I can really understand that.
And rest. So,
Exactly. Yes, and be with your daughter.
that neediness for attention
Mhm.
is also another way. Look at me. We see that in social media. Look at me. Look at me.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that neediness creates conditions for people to want to be actors.
Yeah. Well, and without getting paid really good money to be an actor.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I had a client just recently tell me about a couples therapist was talking about giving a presentation about how love acts, and just the way that's framed, makes me quiver in many different personal ways. Yes. If you talk to people about how to act in a loving relationship, you're telling them how to be good machines.
Correct.
And that never lasts. And here's the biggest thing. Oh my gosh. We should have started with this because and we'll talk some more about this. But when you take two programmed people,
yes,
and you put them together, people who are acting like machines, true love is never possible, and the relationship becomes dead. So we're in this community where there's a lot of retired people, quote unquote, or whatever that means.
Correct.
And when they get together, the women go off together and the men go off together.
Yeah.
And that is because they have no idea how to connect with each other.
Correct.
We stop going to those things because we don't want to, when we go out socially, we don't want to separate from each other.
We actually like each other.
We want to be together first and then be with other people second.
It's true.
And people don't get it.
Well, and I just want to say before, and I know we're at the end of this one, but we have had more people. We go into a store and we have had more people come up to us and say, you two have something very, very special. You two, there's this air about you that is very, very special. What's your secret?
Yeah.
What's your formula?
Well, they're looking for programming.
They really are.
And it's energy. It's not programming.
Yes, it is.
And that's what makes it go off. So,
okay. So, Jason, what are the key points of this segment?
Neediness makes people choose bad relationships and stay in dysfunctional ones. Neediness comes from a lack of feeling secure and a form of loneliness that is desperate to connect with anybody.
Yes.
Neediness for attention is often the way of taking energy from others and interferes with true loves. We didn't talk about that.
But yes,
neediness is a form of energy taking. Instead of having it for yourself.
Yes. Or sharing it.
Or sharing it and then sharing it, having it for yourself first and then sharing it.
Right.
I'm going to take it from you.
Yes, exactly.
And the ecosystem approach is designed to teach you how to identify and remove the negative energy associated with any form of neediness
There you go.
that you might have now or in the future.
Correct. Or even in the past. In the next segment, we're going to talk about what true love is and how to create it in your life. It is not necessarily about a romantic partner, but can be of many great relationships. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to talk about what true love is and how to create it in your life. It is not necessarily about a romantic partner, but can be part of many relationships. Okay, Jason, we've talked about many misconceptions about true love, but what is true love or real love? What is it?
Well, it's an energy.
Okay.
That's why it's so difficult. That's why it's taken us so long to get to this point in the show, because when people come to us and say, well, how'd you do it?
Right.
That's the wrong question. It's not about what we did, because what we did was unique to us.
True.
It had to do with my personal story, your personal story.
Correct.
The connection that we have now is not because of anything that we did or any formula that we followed. It's because of the energy that goes between us.
Correct.
That when we're together, there's a connection, there's an intimacy.
Correct.
That is almost impossible to describe. One of the ways that I put this down on the outline for today.
Okay.
But when you have like a near-death experience,
yes,
you transcend your physical body and you have an energy experience.
Correct.
And that's the best way that I know to describe what we have together, especially in those moments. Now, when we're getting things done, we're going to the grocery store, we always, we usually do that together for the most part. My job is to push the cart, look pretty, and pay the bill, and
your point.
and that works, but we do that in the store. And
correct.
When we're doing functional things, it's not like we're that exchange of energy. We just are able to do that. Now to our credit,
okay,
we did this. This is kind of stupid, but I want to bring this up.
Okay. I don't know what it is, everyone.
we had a light burnout in our overhead hood in the house.
Yes.
So we had to replace the lights. There was 4 lights and the connector was wrong. So we had to change the connector, and it was a little complicated.
Okay.
So I figured it out, but I didn't have the manual dexterity to do it. We did it together. This was, most people,
we cannot do that.
We don't like wallpaper, but if we had hang wallpaper together, we could do that. We've done all these things together. A lot of times when we're doing homeowner chores, which happens a lot around here,
sure,
when we look around us, it's always individuals. The husband's doing something and the wife's doing something, but they don't do it together.
And oftentimes, we don't do all of the jobs together, but oftentimes we do jobs together, or one of us will come in and have the hand just in the right spot at the right time, and which is amazing.
Well, it's part of our partnership.
It is.
It's a reflection. It's a symptom of the good energy between us.
That is correct.
And
that is correct.
Of course, the lawn tractor, sweetie, is all mine. You can't, you're not, I won't let you drive the lawn tractor. There are some things that are
Sometimes
sacred.
He's so mean.
But
he loves that lawn tractor, I'm telling you.
But those things, that's not where the connection comes.
No.
The connection comes at the end of the day, and we're sitting on the couch, and it's just you and I.
And the dogs. Don't forget about the dogs.
Yes. And it's sometimes we don't even talk. It's just the feeling. It's the feeling that we have.
That is correct.
And it's hard. I can't put it into words. The English language fails me to talk about this.
Correct.
And when you're programmed, we've talked about programs so much in all of our shows,
Correct.
and people don't understand why it's such a bad
Big
thing.
deal.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's why, programmed people can't have true love.
Yes.
And having experienced with my sweetheart here, um, I can't imagine not having that in my life. And I think that it's our greatest asset.
So do I.
So when we're going forward to do more things with energy and to
Mhm.
help you guys understand energy, we're going to do it together. And we
Yeah.
always do it together. And
It's true.
we wouldn't think of it doing it in any other way.
No, but no. Well, and the irony about that is that was one of the things we figured out real quick.
Yeah.
We figured it out. It was a big deal. So, Jason, I want to talk about the refined intuition.
Yes.
So that and evolved consciousness, because that is what happened with.
We throw that word around a lot.
Okay, so if you would
refined
talk about
intuition,
that,
evolved consciousness,
yes,
and a true self-knowledge.
Yes. Oh,
you get that by using an energy process, using the ecosystem approach to remove the negative energy attached to your essence. And that's when the potential for true love happens.
Yes.
I think one of my, it's not like I had any great moves or lines when we first got together.
Oh, I can tell some stories, but I'll be nice and not do that to you all.
My claim to fame was that I saw who she was. It
It wasn't me, I'll tell you.
It wasn't some clever line. It wasn't some I didn't show her my my bicep.
Right.
It was that I showed her that I saw who she was in ways that not only most people didn't, but even she didn't see for herself.
Yeah.
And
although I knew something was there, I didn't know what it was.
And she did the same for me.
Yes.
That was our connection. And if you think, well, I'm not intuitive enough to do that. Well, when you use the ecosystem approach,
you can be.
You develop your refined intuition.
That is correct.
And that evolved consciousness, you have an understanding of how the other person works.
Correct.
And instead of saying you're bad because you acted this way, you say, oh my gosh, I see why you act that way.
So let's clear that.
Yeah.
And let's see what comes up. And the irony about all of this is that when you start using the ecosystem approach and you start removing the negative energies and the bad feelings of your past, the true authentic part of who you are, your essence, your soul, it starts to come forward in a way and be able to speak either through you or around you in a way that you never, ever, ever will expect. It's awesome.
There's like I'm just making this up as I go along.
Okay.
But there's like a love dance that we do.
Yes.
That's not possible when you're programming yourself.
Yeah.
It's not possible to do that dance with each other. And each couple has their own method.
Yes.
You can also have that love dance with a child.
Oh, yeah.
But that comes from clearing away the negative energy between the two of you.
Yes.
You can have that with a sister or brother, a parent, clearing the negative energy between you, or not.
Well, and you know what, I want to jump in. When I started removing the negative energy of myself and my story, so to speak, there was parts that came forward of me that I was so shocked that they were actually authentically there.
Yeah.
And it made such a difference.
Part of self-knowledge is learning about parts of yourself that have been programmed out of you.
Yes, or blocked.
Yes.
Yes.
It's like a big energetic block that you can't see who you are.
Exactly.
Authentically.
Well, and so one of the biggest points that I really want to make is that being highly programmed does not give or allow you to authentically love. And when you start removing that negative energy, you actually start to learn to love yourself. You go, oh my gosh, I really like this about me.
Yes.
And it's awesome. And yet there's still things, I mean, life is life. We collect negative energy all the time. The bottom line is that when we have true self-knowledge, authentic knowledge about ourselves and who we are, then we can start to share that with each other.
Yes.
And that's a gift, everyone. It's awesome.
And in spite of what you may think, it's not negativeness. It's not negative at all.
No, it's truly not. And that is what is truly amazing. So, Jason, let's talk about the key points, and then let's tell everyone how to do the removing negative energy.
Okay.
What do you say?
Highly programmed people and those who have lots of negative energy attached can't have true love. I'm sorry, I'm just the messenger.
Yes.
I'm not trying to be negative. But we all have the ability to remove that.
Yes.
So if you use refined intuition and evolved consciousness and true self-knowledge, those are the path to true love.
Yes.
When you're cleared enough negative energy, magic starts to happen. True love energy surrounds you and elevates you.
Mm-hmm.
And the ecosystem approach teaches you how to have that transcendent experience of true love.
I love that. Okay, Jason, tell everyone how to remove negative energy.
So it's very easy. Your posture doesn't matter. You can be sitting, standing, walking, laying down.
Mm-hmm.
We often do two things at once when we're
Yes.
clearing.
Yes.
You know, whether it's in the shower, whether it's dishes, whether it's cooking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so when we say to eliminate, it's part of what we say. Just in your mind's eye, in your imagination, gather up what we say to eliminate, and all the way from the tips of your toe out through your body.
That's
and
correct.
Blow that gently into the processor. Jacob's putting up a picture of the processor
And
right
if you
now.
can't see it, use the garbage can, and the garbage can, whatever you put in the garbage can is not going to come back
And I
out.
suggest you do it our way in the beginning, especially.
Yes.
People want us to do it their way. And frankly, because we've been programmed, we don't see energy. We don't know what's works and what doesn't. We
Right.
know that this works.
Yes.
Because we do see energy, and
Correct.
we've seen it for over 20 years and how
Correct.
successful it's been.
Exactly. And then after that, what we're going to do is we're going to activate life force energy, the most powerful energy that any of us has access to. We're going to call upon it. We're going to ask it to come in through the top of our head, go to the tips of our toes. We're going to stop it there. We're going to ask it to turn around and blow out any negative energy left over. We'll talk a little bit more about that in the next segment. Stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to help you start to remove the negative energy of bad love and then create the energy so you can have what? Good love. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. In this segment, we're going to help you start to remove the negative energy of bad love and then create the energy so you can have good love. I really like that.
Yeah.
That's really amazing. So, Jason, go for it.
Here we go. I direct all my resources and all dimensions to eliminate the barriers so I can see that possessiveness that many mistake for love has been modeled for many people. It may not be your fault if you think that's what love is. Take a breath.
Take a breath.
Gather up all those barriers
and throw them in that processor or garbage can. And I'm going to shorten it up just a little bit and to eliminate the barriers so I can see that when programmed people get together, the result is a dead relationship. A lot of wasted time there. Nice and easy. You don't need that. Pick it up and throw it in the processor.
And to eliminate the intense feelings of worry, anxiety, and stress I have because my relationship feels dead to me. You know, don't worry about it. Clear the negative energy and see what happens.
And I'm telling you, you will at least laugh. It's wonderful. And to eliminate any feelings of fear and hurt and shame I have because I believe my bad relationships are my fault. Might not exactly be true.
Programming has done so much damage, and we don't even, by the time we figure out that it's a problem, that we've already been programmed.
Yes.
So
take a breath and throw it away. You don't need that.
And to eliminate the barrier so I can see my own possessiveness that I've been trained in that affects my current relationships. Take a breath.
You know what? I'm going to add one here. And to eliminate any jealousy and possessiveness and neediness to be right and to have the love exactly the way I believe it's supposed to be. I release and let go all of that programming. It doesn't serve me. Take a breath and throw it away.
And to eliminate the barrier so I can see whether I'm loved or possessed by my relationship now.
Yes.
Take a breath.
And blow it out. And to eliminate any feelings of fear and terror that I have about being a machine in relationships with no real love. Pick it up. You don't need it. Throw it away. By the way, we were created to authentically love. That's the one thing I meant to say.
Exactly. And connect that way.
And connect that way.
With energy.
Yes.
You know, so the barriers, so we can see that my neediness keeps me from deep and lasting love.
Yes. Take a breath. Blow it out. And to eliminate any resentment I have that true love seems so difficult in today's world. It doesn't have to be. Take a breath. Get rid of that possessiveness, that neediness, throw it away.
And to eliminate any resistance I have to removing my neediness so I can have a better relationship and deeper relationships.
Yes. Take a breath and blow it out. And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see that removing negative energy attached to me is the way to true love. Take a breath. Throw it away. You don't need it.
And to eliminate the barriers so I can see that identifying my emotional story and removing the negative energy is the way to true love.
Take a breath. Blow it away. And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see that using the ecosystem approach gives me the tools for true love. Take a breath and throw it away. Can I activate some life force? Here we go. Follow along. I direct all my resources in all dimensions to activate life force energy so I can use life force energy to have the clarity, awareness, and objectivity and even indifference that I need and want, so I can see who and what is in my highest and best interest, and and how I want to get rid of negative energy for me so I can have what I authentically want. Nice and easy. Pull it in and blow out any negative energy left over.
And to activate life force so I can have hope to have true love by just removing the negative energy attached to me.
Take a breath and blow out any negative energy left over. And activate life force so I can trust that removing negative energy is the way for me to have deep, satisfying love starting right now, today. By the way, starting the love that I need for myself first. Pull it in. Let it go all the way to the tips of your toes. Stop it right there. Ask it to turn around and blow out any negative energy left over. Jason?
And to activate life force so I can decide to focus on having better relationships by removing my bad energy attached to me.
Love it. Take a breath.
That's one of the first things we agreed to do.
Yes, it was.
Is that we're going to focus not on each other,
on ourselves
first.
Yes, and it worked. It was wonderful. So, and to activate life force so I can be aware and happy and learn to love myself, and then learn to love others, but also be objective and creative, and I don't know if I said it, but have laughter, but also know that I can heal myself by using the ecosystem approach starting right now, today. Nice and easy. Pull it in. Tips of your toes. Stop it right there. Turn it around and blow out any negative energy left over. Jason, what are we going to talk about next week?
Sex, love, and evolution. Is that the key to life?
Oh.
So this is because I was, listening to too much of Mick Jagger.
Oh.
And he was the one that said sex what was it? Sex,
Drugs and rock and roll.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know he said that.
Yeah, that
Okay.
was his, and obviously that didn't work well for him, and he's had follow-on comments from that. But
Okay.
Sex, Love, and Evolution, I think, could be the key, and this is based on it's kind of our response
Okay.
to a Harvard study.
Okay.
And by the way, we just bought the book, and we're going to read that.
Oh, we
before next
did. Oh,
week. So,
okay.
So it's going to be a response to that, because Harvard has been doing this study about happiness for
yes.
for many years. I don't know how many. It's 50, 60, 70 years,
Is
and
that
it's the
right?
most exhaustive study on happiness. And we're going to talk about how that won't tell you how to be happy. It'll tell you what they found happy people do. It'll, they tell you the symptom, just like with us. People
Okay.
see us and say, "Oh, you're so happy. You're so
Right.
much in love.
Right.
What's your secret? You
No.
want a formula. That's the problem." So we're going to talk about all that. And,
Okay.
but no, it's not sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It's really sex, love, and evolution. So
I see.
we're going to talk all about that
Okay.
next week.
I love it.
So, if we touched your heart today, if you're saying, okay, if you're depressed, if this says, oh my gosh, my love life isn't what I want it to be, please don't be discouraged. The thing to do is two things. One, go to our website right now, theecosystemapproach.org, and sign up for our free section.
Okay.
You'll get the clearings every week. They'll be written out for you. What to say is right there. The processor, a picture of the processor is right there.
Mhm.
It's all you need to do the clearings. And then listen to the show every week.
Right.
Because we start to teach you how to work with energy in your life as opposed to being programmed.
Okay.
And it doesn't require that you make your hair pink or do weird things. It's all an internal process. It's you can be very normal and do this process, and you'll enjoy it. And then if you want more information, you can go to our website on Facebook, theecosystemapproach.org. You can see our videos there. If you go there, please like us while you're there. We always appreciate that.
Okay. All right. So anything else we want to say before we?
It's just that, if you're listening today, you deserve to have love in your life.
Yeah.
And if you've accepted the fact that love isn't really for you, please don't do that.
Yes.
You deserve to have this exchange of energy. It may not be with a romantic partner. It might be with someone else.
But that's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You need to have that starting with you first.
We'll connect next week, Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific and 4 p.m. Eastern Time. This is Transformation Talk Radio, and you're listening to the Ecosystem Approach with Jason and Patricia.
Remember, your ecosystem is the most important one in the world.
Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you for listening to the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia. I'm Patricia. Tune in every week as we discuss practical ways to apply the ecosystem approach and develop your potential to live your life on your terms. For more information, visit our website at theecosystemapproach.org.